This tutorial is to show you or explain the strip method and how to print on one line like this. How to keep the cursor on one line, because typically when you use the print statement, the cursor goes on the next line automatically. But if you use n equals and empty set of quotation marks, that tells the interpreter to keep the cursor on the same line. Now the strip method is used when the user enters in some spaces either before or after inadvertently their data. And so the strip method will strip any leading or trailing spaces around the data that they got from the user, or same with the file. When you're reading from a file, you should apply the strip method to that data before storing it into a variable, because the user could inadvertently put a space in front or at the end. So the strip method is commonly used when getting data from a file or getting data from a user, because the user inadvertently hits the spacebar and they don't even realize it. So here I'm going to ask him for a number. I asked him for 7. And then I stripped the 7. I stripped the leading spaces behind, in front of it, and behind it. And I stored it back into user's number. And then I converted user's number to an integer and stored that back in there. Remember the assignments, the single equal signs, the assignments you read from the right to the left. And then we talked about the range function before. This is my starting point. This is my ending point. But the ending point is exclusive. So if I entered in a 7, I will not see a 7. See, it only goes up to 6. So let's go ahead and run it. Here I'm concatenating. Whatever value I has, I concatenate a space. I is going to take on the 1 straight away. And then it's going to print 1 and then a space. Keep the cursor on the same line. And then I is going to take on a 2. So print out a 2, put a space. Keep the cursor on a new line. Let's go ahead and run it. Enter a number. I'll enter in 6. So it'll show 1 to 5. Okay. Now I'm going to run it again, and I'm going to put a whole bunch of spaces in front of it. And then then the number, and then more spaces. Now hit enter. So the strip method stripped all the spaces that I put in there. Took them all out. So you can do this in one line. You can say input and apply the strip method to this right inside here. Then you can convert all that to an integer. Surround all of that with an integer. Now you won't need these 2 lines. That's called chaining. I want to comment those 2 lines out. Let's run it again now. Watch it fail, because this is me, mind you. There, that was successful. That was surprising. So that's how you do the strip method. The strip method takes away the leading and trailing spaces inadvertently entered by the user. It's a good programmer practice to use it whenever you're getting data from the user or from a file. Because when sometimes people that are entering the data entry people entering data into the file, they inadvertently put a space in a field, like a column heading, for example. Inadvertently put a space in the field, and then your program crashes. And then your range function, I'm going to go to 1. I'm going to start at 1 and go up to, but not including whatever they entered in. How do I keep the cursor on the new line, or the same line rather? You end your print statement with end equals, and then empty set of quotation marks. If you do this, now you're saying I want to put the cursor on the new line every time, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Okay, thank you for listening.